Welcome back!
And today we have a very special guest.
Claire! Claire Bear!
I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're so excited. I was so excited to have you on the
Were
podcast.
you? Oh
yes,
my goodness.
yes.
I was so excited when you guys asked.
You're doing some pretty cool stuff around here.
I mean, I like to think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, it is cool, and I feel like I was telling you when you first started doing it, like, no one... I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this, but I could be wrong, but it's very unique, very different. And what we're talking about is your astrology facial.
Yes, I'm so excited. It's been so exciting to get started with, and it's just like my passions all like coming together for like one really cool experience.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Claire is like our zodiac girl. Like anything, if anybody starts working, we're like, okay, what are you? Go see Claire. Because we're gonna need the
Give me the whole rundown. Like I need to know everything.
Or if we're feeling off, we're like, okay, what's going on with the moon?
Yes.
I know.
Yes, or are we in some kind of retro grade Gatorade? Yeah. Like, she knows all of it, and she's just one of those people where you can go to about anything, even if it's not astrology related. Like, you're just the sweetest, like, most down-to-earth soul ever.
You're a yes girl through and through. Like
I
Yes.
tried
what
it.
it
I
is.
tried.
Yes, I'll do it.
Yes,
Oh,
for sure.
I love it.
Well, tell us. What's an astrology facial?
Okay, so an astrology facial is really, I think, like at the forefront of what it is an energetic experience. Like it's a little bit more than just a facial. I think anybody who performs any relaxing service kind of knows like you are transferring energy to another person, and with an astrology facial it really just kind of allows me to connect on a different level so that we can find the best way to like heal and rejuvenate and help you relax. That has to do with like your birth chart and like the day you were born, and there's just so much that kind of ties in when you get to know the astrology side of things that you can bring into everything you do. So it's just a very intentional and very personalized.
Yes. Yeah.
So walk me through. I come in, I'm thinking I'm going to get a normal facial,
Yes.
even though it's an astrology one. What does that look
Absolutely.
like for a client?
So it really starts out with, of course, we have to go over, okay, well, like, what's your sign?
Yeah.
Because that's going to affect the add-on that you get. So everybody gets a special add-on. So, you know, if you're a fire sign, you're getting the cooling ice globes because we need to just tone it back down for you, okay? So, Brittany, you're a Sag. Okay?
We're calling me
She's
out.
a little feisty by nature. She can't help it. It's a good thing we love it. But when you're getting a facial, like, let's take that kind of opposite side of things. Let's, like, you know, we'll start with something stimulating, right? But then we'll just kind of like tone it back down. So it's like connect with that fire and then like soothe it.
Yeah.
And like if we're going off of a fire sign, like your spa music is gonna have like the crackling fire sounds underneath it to go into it, and maybe we're using a lot of like colors associated with a Sag. So we're kind of going with our warm tones, our reds, our oranges, so that'll be in your products. That might be in the bedding, the sheets, the crystals that we use. So it's like, and so it's like that for every single facial.
I love that.
That's
really
cool.
That like
cool.
makes me feel like it's just for me. Like now I want to
Yes,
do it.
yeah.
I can say I experienced
You
one of
did.
these
Yeah.
facials, so I can kind of give a little bit what it is like from the client's perspective.
Yeah.
Mine would be different from yours because I'm an air sign, but I went in and first of all, her room is just this like cozy like cottage vibe. She has the like fairy lights and the greenery and all of that. But she pretty much told me like everything that she had picked for the room, down to the music and the bedding, was customized based off of what she felt would kind of like match me and my sign, which is a Libra. And it was a lot of pinks and like things like that.
Lots of pinks.
Yes, and she even incorporated some of her crystals.
Of course.
And it just felt very personal, and it just felt very nice. It's really nice as a client, like getting a service and thinking like you put so much thought and intention. Like she said, these were calling to me for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that made me feel like, wow, this is amazing.
Well, I'm glad that you say that because I think the biggest thing with, and I do it with every service, and I always have, but being able to incorporate that into these facials specifically, everything is intentional. Like, every color, every crystal, every movement, like, the massage depends on the person. If we talk, like, that kind of connection depends on the person. Like, it's, you know, when I see an astrology facial on my books, it's that morning or even the evening before, like, I have to take the time and be like, okay, I have Stevie on my books for an astrology facial today. Like, what does she need from me? So it's very much, like, connecting to, like, a broader energy to be like, what can I bring to help you connect with whatever you need? So it's not so much like I'm doing it, it's like I'm just providing you with what you need. Like, yes, it's very like, what are you being called to and what does this person need? And it's been really great so far. I mean, I've had some really great experiences with it, so I love it. Everybody should get one.
So, with that being said, is that something that, like, you can't really book last minute? Or can you?
You can book it last minute. Now, it might kind of depend. So when it's booked a little bit in advance, I just have a little more time to, like, prepare for that person. But because I'm doing it with people that I don't necessarily know, it's like, I always kind of have things in my room. And I also think that, like, everything kind of happens for a reason, so, like, everything falls into place. So if you have a last minute and I have that perfect opening for it, and, like, this is the only time you can come in, I guarantee you I probably have whatever we need, because otherwise it wouldn't be happening. So, last minute or not, always a good experience.
Okay. Well, so the really special thing, another special thing about you is you actually are just starting to do spa services.
True, yes.
You have kind of integrated into the spa world.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're a hairstylist.
Of course.
So what has that been like?
Interesting. It has been, like, really exciting and cool to watch people from the hair world. You know, of course, we do a massage with every shampoo, so, like, I've shampooed so many clients in this building, and just kind of helped them to, like, experience maybe a little bit of that. And I always kind of found that with hair and connecting with people on a different level. So while it's definitely, like, different and challenging to be all across the salon, I wouldn't change it. I get to experience so many different kinds of people and so many different experiences and, like, help people feel beautiful or happy or better in absolutely every way that we offer. So that's, like, really exciting, and it's just, like, it's, like, I don't know, everything kind of coming together, like, being able to perform these services, and the spa is, like, I feel like I finally, like, hit my full potential with it.
Yeah, I feel like you have just, like, blossomed this year.
Yes.
For me, it's like seeing it come full circle. I mean, for those of you that don't know, Claire, like, interned under me, like, before she graduated school. So I feel like I've seen her through all of these changes, and you have just, like, blossomed into the beautiful flower we know you are.
Thank you.
So it's just been cool to see. It really has.
Very
It's
cool.
been amazing. It's been, very rewarding, so.
Well, I remember when I heard you were coming down, it was like, oh, well, yeah. Well, duh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes. It makes sense. Well, yeah, she should be down here.
It feels so right, like, having a space down here. It's, like I'm just meant to be doing, like, it just feels so right. And I always wanted to, but, you know, when you're doing hair, it's not always an easy thing to do every service. You know, you kind of have to focus your energy wherever that kind of serves you best. But everybody's been so supportive and so kind and so, like, encouraging, and it's just been, like beyond what I could have imagined.
I'm glad you feel that way too. Yeah, I'm really glad you feel that way.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You guys are great. You're just hyping me up today. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so is an astrology facial something you can do multiple of in a day?
Yes, so obviously with it being so, like, energetically, like, it can be a little strenuous.
Yeah.
But I have enough, like, time between, and like, I protect my energy in a way so that, like, I can provide that all day. And I think also because I'm kind of back and forth, it's not as, like, draining. Now, if I'm doing, like, a tarot pull with it, if you pull the tarot cards into it, it can be a little bit more draining, but you just have to, like, find the time and, you know, work
back
it out.
up. tarot.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that.
So, as I'm sure many people know, tarot cards are just kind of a way to connect in a spiritual manner, and people get a lot of different messages from it. So it can be as simple as like, okay, well, what's just something I need to hear today? And maybe you pull one card and you get something that tells you what you need. But sometimes when you just feel really called to it, which I know, Stevie, you've experienced it a few times, right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're just called to like give somebody a message, and sometimes that can happen.
Yeah.
So it's not super common, but a tarot pull can just, I mean, it can be anywhere from like one card to maybe we had to pull 12 and maybe we're crying and holding hands by the end and we gotta go and take a breather. But yeah, it's a really cool and special thing. It's not something I often bring to work with me, but when the call is there, you gotta bring it with you.
Well, listen, I believe we're calling.
You are calling.
I think in the next, so often,
Yes.
we need to bring you back
Absolutely.
to do a reading
Do
with
a little
everybody.
reading?
Yes,
I would
love that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Claire gave me a reading recently, and it was something where it was funny because you had brought your crystals and all of those things, and I kind of just don't know a lot about it. I'm really interested in it. But she's like, whatever you feel called to, grab the crystals that you feel called to. And I grabbed these two, I'm like, oh, these are the prettiest ones. You know, I like these colors. And she's like, those are what I chose for your facial. I was like,
we're the same months.
That's so weird.
It's true. I think you can't deny that sometimes people are connected to certain energies. And I say it all the time, like there are certain ones that I hold all the time. Like, I always have some in my pocket. And it's just like, people tend to be called to the energy that suits them best, and I think tarot is just kind of like taking that one step further. So, you know, sometimes it's really lighthearted and sometimes it's not so much, but it's, you know, it can be so broad. Like, we could pull one for, like, what's in store for the salon, you know, or like what, you know, is the energy for the month ahead. Like, it can be so broad or it can be so specific. Like, I have this one thing. Like, give me insight on my career in the next 2 weeks. It's like, you know, it can be.
And I've witnessed
really
that,
cool.
like, firsthand. Like, so my husband and I, we were at a friend's house, and his fiance is, like, into all this stuff,
Love
too.
it.
And she's like, can I read your cards? And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm in a really good spot. And Cody's like, I don't know. And his was really, really heavy. Yep. Like, I was crying. And he was just like, how did you know all that? And mine was just like, I just had a baby. I was happy. It was like very lighthearted. So like he needed to hear all that, and then mine was just like happy and fun.
Absolutely.
So definitely, I've seen both ends of the spectrum on that, and it's just crazy how off of somebody's energy, she picked that up.
Absolutely.
It's wild.
Yeah, when I had my cards read by you, I didn't tell you anything. You were like, is there anything you want, like, intention? I was like, no, because one, I was kind of in a happy spot, and I was just like, I really can't think of anything, but I had thoughts of like, well, I'm wondering if this is what's gonna come up. Yeah. And I never even like told you what I like felt about it. I was just like, okay, yeah, makes sense. I didn't go into detail or anything. But she had pulled some cards, and it related really heavily to my career. Did it? In my opinion. Yes. Yeah. Very much to my career, and like kind of just questions I had in my head, and like how I was feeling about like things going for the future.
I love that. And
you had pulled these like you had pulled, I think it was the star.
I do. Yes. Okay. I remember. Yes. Absolutely.
And that really was like, okay.
Ooh, she was speaking heavy that night.
Yes.
Well, and the thing about doing a tarot pull, which I think sometimes needs to be said, is like, I don't remember the details. Yeah. So like, I can read your cards. I have no idea what I told you though. Yeah. So it's like, I can remember that if you tell me, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember. I don't remember what your message was. So I think when people are kind of like, well, I don't need this person in my business, which can be very real when somebody's like, getting outside of you, it's like, don't worry about it, because by the time it's done, I'm like, how are you? Did that resonate the cards? Like, I am literally just like,
you were in such a zone, and
in my own world at that point.
Yes, yeah.
I got so much out of it.
Yeah, because that was the thing. I was like, I kind of don't want to talk about my personal stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't really want any, intention.
Absolutely.
But I got it without even having to, talk
so
about
good.
it or even talk about it afterwards. I was like,
Good.
I took
Good.
it. I
Okay,
took
good.
it in. I got it. Yeah.
Well, how ironic that, it was about work and we happened to be on a work trip when this happened.
Yes.
So it was
so
kind
cool.
of, we were in that energy anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do remember from yours is, the cards kind of kept coming. So, I remember I had an initial spread, and then we had to, pull clarifiers. Yeah, you had some that were popping through. I had some that were trying to fall out. So, you had messages that needed to come through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what they were, but I'm glad that it resonated.
To be honest, I don't quite either. But I remember thinking, I got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the joy of it. And, that's what I try to bring into everything that I do. Is just
so
energy.
Are you taking new clients?
Absolutely, I'm taking new clients. Always. Love meeting new people. Love connecting with new people. Yeah, always. Anybody who wants anything to do with that and has any curiosity, you don't need to know anything. If you can tell me your birthday, I can figure it out from there. If you're super into it and you're like, I have my birth chart, go ahead and bring it in because you know I want to see it.
So we got sun, rising.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead and download this app, and I'm going to need to see it.
I have a couple. We can do it together. You just know your birth time and where you were born. We're good to go.
Love it.
We talked to a lot of our teammates about ideal clients.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of been a theme going on the past couple weeks here is finding your ideal clients and do you have an ideal client? Is it somebody that's really into it as well, or do you kind of like a skeptic?
I like the people who kind of fall, I think, in the middle.
Open-minded.
If you are open to it and maybe you haven't explored that yet, I love to get to do that with people. I love having that first conversation with somebody and then seeing how they really connect with it or want to bring that to me, because it's such a fun topic for me that I love to share it. But really anybody who loves to share just experience, and I'm very much a talker. I'm a relator. So anybody who kind of seeks that care factor, that's what I'm there for. I'm a connector through and through. So my ideal client really falls in there. I just love getting to know people, and if you think that we'd be a good fit, then I just believe we're gonna end up together anyways. So
and that's so you. I mean, we call you Clare Bear for a reason. You literally are a Care Bear. Anything that somebody needs to just get off their chest or just hear words of reassurance. You're yes, that's valid. Yes. And here's my advice, and we love it.
I'm so glad that you guys see that, because that is, that's who I try to be. I think especially in this environment, the world's a really tough place to be. Somebody's got to be hey, you know what? It's fine. It's really hard to be.
Somebody has to be a hug and a cute version.
I got you covered. I can do that for you.
Okay. Well, do you have any future plans or anything do you know what your future is gonna hold with Willow and Birch, or are you kind of just happy?
I think right now I've kind of I'm just hitting a high point, so I'm just kind of embracing everything as it comes right now, and I'm feeling very encouraged and very fulfilled right now, so I'm just holding on to that as long as I can, seeing what comes,
Yes! I love that!
And you just also got your last day, so you're full-time now.
Full-time now. I am here whenever we are open.
She's full-time. She's doing hair, skin, and nails.
Yes, ma'am.
Look at
her, a little bit of everything.
Literally, she encompasses Willow and Birch.
I try.
Everything we do, you'll find it in Clare.
Oh, well, thank you. I love it.
Yeah. Do you have any further questions?
I don't. Do you?
I don't think so. You're just such an easy person to talk to. I can chat with you all day. I just love it.
We will definitely have you back if you'll have us.
Yes, I would love nothing
Bring
more.
your cards.
I will bring my cards.
Bring your crystals. Bring it all.
Girl, you know I'll have it all.
We'll play some Stevie Nicks.
Yes, ma'am. Very important.
I'm here for it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being along today.
Oh my gosh, thank
you so much,
for
Clare.
having me. This is so much fun.
Yay! Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us. It was good talking to you.
We'll catch you next time.
Come see Clare.
Bye.
Bye.